this time I was the
Power
one who was
Khan.
not told to be in blue.
To be in blue.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we played you this.
Yeah, you played me. Last time we played him, and
Yeah.
now
Next time we'll
is
have
this revenge?
No, it's not revenge. I mean,
We'll have dreadlocks next time. That one we'll assure you.
well, I can't guarantee that I'll have a dreadlocks.
Yeah, given that.
At least I'll look for one that I can just wear.
Okay, please, next time, yeah?
Yeah.
All right, guys, you can join us in our conversations via our social media handles that will appear at the bottom of your screen, sorry. And the hashtag to use is hashtag TryTimeKE. All right, guys, let's start with the sevens. Perhaps this was a better performance from the boys, Singapore Sevens.
Yes, we're stringing it along slowly. And I think, you remember what you said last week, it isn't going to happen as a miracle because the older boys are in. But you can see the confidence that the other younger players
they
draw
got
from them.
from
Yes, always when you have an older person giving you a little bit of advice, knowing that he's on your shoulder to give you guidance, that will help.
Yeah.
So they might not be as fit as you want them to be, but they're doing that service of encouraging the younger guys to play better.
motivation.
And, yes, and we've seen quite a bit of that.
Yeah.
I think there's one thing that I noticed that was different in this tournament, and that especially was the set piece and the kickoff, which we've struggled throughout. There was the introduction of the pod system where you have a player lifting another player. So I mean that's a bit of experience that Andrew Amonde brought in because I saw that he was lifting either Tabu or Olindi when he came in, and that gave us a bit of assurance in retrieving the kickoff. Now, two other important things that came from this particular tournament was the fact that we are able to beat Wales on day one.
The results don't look so.
Yeah, we were able to beat Wales on day one, and the importance of this game was the fact that Wales had beaten England.
Yeah.
And if they would have beaten us, means they would have had a straight run into the quarterfinals, which means they would have probably overtaken us on points. So that defeat to Wales was us beating Wales was very, very important in the overall scheme of things. The other thing is we beat Japan as well, which at this point in the series, they're the teams that we're fighting for.
Yeah.
So in terms of win ratio, at least it was 3 out of 3. 3? No, 3 out of 6, which is a much better improvement from the other tournament in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
What was very important is at the point we beat Japan. We beat Japan in the knockout stages. That is super. And then, of course, eliminating Wales from getting into the quarterfinals of the main cup. And I'm especially impressed by the United States performance. I think there's a lot of guts in that game. We'll probably just let it go in the England game. Yeah. But you can definitely see an improvement in this side.
There's definitely an So, according to you, the older players coming in, that's the difference?
Yes. They might not be... Yes, Jeff is doing his fair share of work as a captain, which is very, very appreciated. Now, with the wisdom of the older players, the younger players are able to give even more than they usually give. And Jeff leading from the front has made things a lot more easier. Yeah. Of course, people like Tabu now got a lot of energy from that. And you saw even when people like Sekuta set up the set piece, it was very stable and we were able to take care of our ball. And that's very important in how we play. Yeah. So carrying on with that, of course, we play Wales in the territory, in the backyard, which is in London. Yeah.
And going into London, what exactly do you think we should now focus on?
I think for us is just trying to make it to that reasonable goal of winning that challenge trophy. Because when all else is done, we've got to be very cognizant of the position we're in now. Do the best with what you've got and get the best out of the players. Yeah. And I think we're on course. Having seen the Singapore tournament, we should be on course to secure our place in the top 15. Yeah.
I think just picking out from key moments in the tournament in Singapore. In the game versus the US, that's a game we could have won, we should have won, but it was just a bit of indecision, poor decision making. Yeah. We chose to take the ball into contact where the US, they fancy themselves there. All credit to them, they are very conditioned, and that's led to the turnover, and it denied us an opportunity to score. Now, the other thing is, He's talked about Daniel Tabu, and I look at Daniel Tabu as sort of a situation that has been forced on him, that he's reveling in. Because some say that the current situation where we did not have, quote-unquote, our best players available for selection has sort of forced the young players to be thrown into the deep end.
Yeah.
Now, Daniel Tabu is a player who's swum very well. He's taken up the opportunity, and he's keeping defenses alive. I mean, every time he only needs a small gap and he's gone. Yeah. Now, going forward, I think the thing that has really worked well for him is, in as much as we do not have a good pre-season training for strength and conditioning, his conditioning coach at the club, I know Jeff has really worked a lot with him and has sort of helped him. That's why, despite his size, he's able to get into very, very difficult situations and come out in one piece. So going into London, I think better decision-making at crucial moments of the game, especially if you're leading and it's like 1 minute 30. I remember when Benja was coach with Felix, there's one thing that we used to train on. We used to call it the 1 minute 30, especially it can come in two situations. When you're leading, what you need to do when there's 1 minute and 30 seconds remaining, or when you're trailing and you need to chase the game. So there's just being aware at where you are on the pitch and at what specific moments, and making the right decisions, and I think we should be fine. And I mean, Wales and Japan now, I mean, we've sort of given them a push, but there's still 2 more tournaments to go.
Exactly.
So we still need to keep working at it, and hopefully go for something better than the 13th position that we had in Singapore.
I think Onyala is one person that is going to make a super player alongside Tabu. And Olindi didn't sparkle as much as we expected him to. I don't know what the problem was, but when you have somebody like Olindi, Tabu, and Onyala firing on those cylinders, and then you bring Jeff there, you bring a lot of the older players, and Eden is swung in the mix as well. We've got a good set of players now, and I'm yet to talk to the coach, but this is the sort of thing that you decide for 2 or 3 weeks. We'll be together, we'll work on our fitness, we'll work on our team chemistry, we'll set ourselves aside to work hard so that when we go into Europe, we're coming with very good results. And I think that is very possible.
I think just one more player I'd like to highlight is Oscar Dennis.
Yes.
Oscar Dennis is a player who, I mean, he made his debut last week in Hong Kong. And I think he's one player who's very good with the rugby basics. And I think it comes from starting rugby at an early age, in terms of passing, tackling, and just game awareness. Now, Coach Pau kept faith with Oscar Dennis on the wing, and Oyo, who's a World Sevens Series winner, has been put on the bench. And you can see the reason why. Because Oscar Dennis, I think his awareness during the game really puts him a cut above some of the more seasoned players. And it was very good to see him score his first try on the World Sevens Series.
That was very exciting.
And the celebration was...
That was very exciting.
Yeah, very, very exciting.
Oscar is the sort of guy who will do anything to wear that jersey. I remember what we were talking about last week. These boys who go to private schools who never had a chance. He's one of those who decided that this is what I was going to do. Went out to Australia, went to school, and came back home so that he could be able to wear the jersey. And he's a good example of what a patriotic player is.
Yes.
I saw a joke you made on social media about Bush Mwale. I wish you could share it here, honestly.
No, you know, Bush Mwale, the thing I like about Bush is he doesn't take himself too seriously. You know, I mean, his
celebration.
Yeah, his celebration.
He's a happy child.
And you know, my last game for the national team, he was my roommate in Japan. And he's someone who, you just sit with him and you're in a good mood all of a sudden. It doesn't matter what has happened on the pitch. You might have had a bad day, but you know, he's someone who's full of life. He takes every single opportunity because he realizes that being on that world stage, I mean, it's not a right, it's a privilege. And you know, you take it with the seriousness it deserves, but at the same time, I mean, the world is your oyster. Just have fun, go out there, play with a smile on your face, and let loose.
He's a very different breed of player. He's the sort of guy who, when you name him on the team, even if he was so sure he was going to be in the team, he would tell you, thank you, coach, for giving me an opportunity. He'll send you endless texts. And every time he'd come to you and ask you, what is it that I need to do better? And that sort of player just excites everyone. And he puts in a lot of effort in his play. And that's why he brings he brings something fresh to the team.
Yeah. Even though he doesn't know how to dance.
That's
something we can work on.
That was a good joke.
Yeah. We frown upon those that can't shake a leg properly.
Yeah. So are we seeing, is there any hope that we're going to miss out on the relegation?
There is major hope, and that's what we're talking about now.
Yeah.
It's we've realized
because a few weeks back
it looked grim. It looked grim,
like,
but you see, you can see the energy with which guys are playing. America is not a small side.
Yeah.
To be able to dominate them the way we did is actually a miracle.
Yeah.
So, and that's the miracle I was talking about. And it's probably not a miracle in the biblical sense, but just the fact that players want to come out and do something for the team. And when they go all out like that, it's exciting to see. I'll bet we're losing, but you can see the strength, the energy with which guys are playing, and that is exciting to me.
When you look at the table,
fan,
the bottom.
Yes.
Look at the points that are separating.
Yes, it's only between us. That's 28 and 25, right?
Yeah, 26, 25.
26 and 25 and 22.
Benja, you need glasses, yeah?
Do I? No, we can't have small screens and start saying.
Benja is used to his 46-inch in the house.
Yeah.
More like 50 something. But again, we'll say. But still, I think this is a chance. And like we're saying, this with the guys we're competing against, when you get them in the knockout stage, they can't leapfrog us. Yeah. And that is what we're looking to go now. And if we take time out, I think we've got close to 7 weeks, I think, for this one. And I'm thinking if we can if we can schedule time, and 7 weeks is pretty good to have time. If we can do a little bit more conditioning, a little bit of working with the team together, that should be able to set us up for a few good wins that will see us clear of that relegation.
One positive as well we could pick from the Singapore leg is on our way to that 13th place, we beat Canada and we beat Spain.
Yeah.
Yes.
So which are two teams that are ahead of us. Now, looking at the London leg, we are with France,
with
Samoa,
Fiji
and Fiji. So, I mean, all those teams are ahead of us. But like Benja said, we just need to keep working, pick the positives from Singapore. And I think at this stage of the season, we are alive to the fact that we need to change our goals and we need to readjust and see we are not in a good place, but we
there's something we can do about it.
There's something we can do about it. And we've shown, at least in the last tournament, the win ratio has gone higher. And I mean, it's always good when you win your last game before you come back home. So, I mean, we have everything you have our work cut out for us, but we're definitely much capable of achieving it.
We're on the right track.
We're on the right track. We're on the right track.
Yeah. Right. We're going to move on to what happened here this past weekend. That was the Enterprise Cup. And I'm going to start with...
do you want to go there?
I want to go
there. Can you just skip that one?
Do we have to talk about it?
We do, imagine. We do. And I particularly want to start with Impala Mwamba. 71-19.
First of all, let me just state here on live television that that was not a typo. Those are the actual results of that particular game.
That's not a drill.
No, it's not. And I actually watched the entire game. I almost wish I hadn't, but you know, I wear the badge in good and in bad times. This was definitely one of the worst defeats, at least in my playing. And even I remember the last time we lost with almost such a margin. It wasn't even 70. I think it was 60. The last time we won with such a margin. Dan Wake was still playing for Impala. I remember that game very well.
That's a long while.
Yeah, it shows you how a long time it has been. And even after that, we made sure that we made amends because we beat Impala convincingly. I mean, just 2 or 3 weeks after.
Yeah.
But all I can say about this particular game is, I think Mwamba, the way they trained that particular week is the same way they played on the weekend. Mwamba could not... they could not kick to save their lives. They could not find territory. They could not, the moment your number 10 cannot get the 10-yard on the kickoff, you're in trouble. If you're conceding tries by losing scrum against the head, it's a problem. If your backs cannot defend first phase ball, and we considered about 4 tries on the first phase. Nothing much Impala are doing in terms of phase play, but just swinging the ball out wide with good moves, which I have to give it to them. The handling was very, very good.
Simiu was playing at 10, wasn't he?
Simiu came in later in the second half, but I think at number 10, I can't remember who they had.
It was one of the younger boys.
Yeah, it was one of the younger boys. I can't even remember his name. But they were playing very, very well. And Oliech definitely playing at number 15. He gave them good go-forward ball. Yeah. Now, when Neto came in, I mean, Neto, I can't remember the last time he played rugby, but Neto was looking...
playing in the ESS. Actually.
Neto was looking like Dan Carter because the Impala forwards gave them good go-forward ball. With every single possession, they were beating the gain line. Mwamba's tackling was, I mean, something... It was atrocious to say the least. And you know, as a fly-off, if you're playing behind a pack of forwards who are giving you good forward ball, you can destroy the opponent. You can choose to kick. You can choose to pass. You can even choose to sit down, send a message before you do what you want. That's the amount of time they had. Instagram. I mean, and Impala were totally comfortable. They dominated this game from minute 1 to minute 80. And I can say, personally, I was looking at the referee for him to call full time. And the last time this happened was when the Simbas played against Southern Spears, a professional side from South Africa, where the scores were in line with the time. Yeah, at some point the scores...
And you were waiting for the referee to call time, yeah?
But I mean, all credit to Impala and their coaching and their technical side, because on the day they did their homework on Mwamba. And Mwamba, I think this particular week, the management has had a sit down. Very tough questions have been asked, and there's been an evaluation of each and every single position, and the players have been put. I mean, they've been brought to account because that's not a performance that's worthy of the Mwamba shirt. And if you're going to the playoffs of the Kenya Cup with such a performance, there's no need to make that trip to Nakuru. You might as well just call it in and call for a walkover, because Nakuru will do the same thing, and playing away in Nakuru is normally very, very difficult.
It's not easy.
So unless Mwamba change something drastically within these 2 weeks, it's going to be another long trip to Nakuru, and even longer one coming back after that, after getting your behinds handed to you on a platter.
Benja, are you going to console him in any way?
No.
You don't need consolation.
Good.
No, you take it on the chin.
An annihilation that you take on the chin.
And
as Laving has said, it was a poor job done by poorly prepared guys. When you deserve to lose, you deserve to lose.
There's no consolation.
That's the only way you learn.
I mean, as a coach, what do you tell players? Just go home. I mean, what can you tell players? 71 points. 71.
Actually, when I first saw the results, I was like, no, it must be.
There's a problem.
Yeah, it must be inverted. You know, 17-19 or something.
Yeah, 17-19.
Actually, 17-19 would have made sense.
And you know, at some point it was 19-all in the first half. And then Mwamba closed shop. Wakafunga duka, wakeka padlock, wakasema tumeenda Easter mapema.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
Let's move on to Harlequin, Black Blood.
Yeah, it was one of those things that when a child jokes with you.
Yeah, I knew it. I knew, Benja, I knew you would go there. I knew you would go there.
As a father, usually, you make sure that the son or the child has a fear of God in them.
You still have beef?
No.
Benja, you still have beef?
No. It was a game. We needed to win. We just needed to win with a bit of authority.
Authority.
Yes. Yeah. I didn't see the yelling that they did in KU, and I didn't see their fans yelling up and down. So
I knew he would go there.
No, I thought...
You know, actually last week, once we left the show, because we were having a chat with Benja, and I told him, I mean, you guys, I mean, you have something scores you need to settle. And Benja was he was like, you know, it's a knockout game.
Yeah.
It's a knockout. You lose, you're out.
You give them a sniff, you're gone.
You give them a sniff, you're gone. But, I mean, all credit to Harlequins. They put right some wrongs early in the season.
Yeah.
And for Black Blood, I mean, consolation is your score was not as big as Mwamba's.
That is the only...
Yes, then you've got to depend on Mwamba's score. So you feel a little better.
When you go back to campus, you say, Angalawa tukupigwa kama Mwamba.
At least no Mwamba.
71! It's been a long week for me, man.
Yeah.
Now, I think William Mbaka came to play on the day, played a superb game, came off from his station to sell some mangoes in the midfield, and that worked very well for us. And well, when we have players like that fired to play, then we are a very good side.
Yeah.
But everybody has got to come out and play, especially this time
Teamwork.
when you're going when you're going for the playoffs, because nobody's going to give you a chance.
And the other positive for Queens is their line was not breached as well. So it was a nil game, which is always good for your defensive coach and your defensive patterns. So because you can pick from that and take it over to the next game.
Yeah, definitely. KCB top fry. KCB beat Nakuru 36-18.
Yes,
expected.
Yes, expected, because as you might see, everybody else seems to be using these games to prepare for the playoffs.
For the playoffs,
other than Mwamba. So
I mean, everything we're referencing everything to.
I mean, it's an interesting weekend. There's no way we can turn a blind eye to a 71-point loss. So everybody is trying to use this to set themselves up for the playoffs. Given the playoffs is a fortnight after that weekend, so it's going to be a long break. Some of us are going to be eating the from the spit roasts, chopping and sitting down there having some frothy beverages.
Yes.
So if we do that for the entire holiday time, we're going to come back and not get good results. So it's a very tricky time for us as management of clubs to make sure that all your players are in check, because you can't ask them to come to the club during the holiday season.
During the holidays, yes. But you're not expecting them to go overboard as well.
No, of course not.
And you see, this is where you have to put trust in your players. You just tell them, you know what, it's at hand. You've worked so hard throughout the season to put yourself in that position. For Queens to put yourself in third position. For Mwamba to put yourself in fifth position. If you think that a weekend away is worth enough for you to throw all that away, I mean, then you need to question yourself as a player. This is where you can't, I mean, the nature of sport is still amateur in the country. You can't really tie a rope around someone's neck, but you give them the leeway. You know what? You go have fun, go celebrate. It's Easter, but then at the back of your mind, just know
remember that
it's a playoff
for this.
There's something much bigger for you and for the club.
These long holidays are quite a headache for us.
Yeah, it's a challenge. It's hard getting players into training. Because if someone tells you, Nico Ushago, what do you do?
You know,
nothing.
So it's a very difficult time. You want to really secure your players and keep them together, but you can't.
But for Mwamba players, I suggest you take time out and think about that 71.
I honestly think, as a preparation for the playoffs, this could have been the best prepared team. You know why? They'll be hungry to win that game, whatever comes their way.
So we have a positive.
Or a positive, at least you know what you need to work on. Going forward.
And there's that hunger for 71 points.
71 could either make you hungry or it could demoralize you completely.
You just padlock the house and go.
But me knowing Mwamba players, they have something to play.
They have something to play on. I tell you for sure, if there's any team in trouble in the playoffs now, as known as per now, is Nakuru.
Because they have to face a side that
has been generated. And knowing Tito, he might not want to let the guys go for the holidays. So that's the other thing. Hopefully Blink can come and save them from the wrath.
But I mean, good win for KCB as well. Because Nakuru is that quote-unquote stubborn side.
Very stubborn.
But KCB also, I think for them, they have one eye on the bigger prize. So good win for them. Commiserations for Nakuru.
Training.
No, actually, I think there's clips from the game, from the actual game.
Oh, it's a game.
Yeah.
Yes.
The
kit is quite similar.
Yeah, it's quite similar.
The kit it's all green.
Yes. Good win for KCB. Definitely, they have something to prove. I mean, they are also alive to the fact that for them, they're waiting for whoever comes out of the playoffs.
Right. Cabras beat Nondis 22-11.
That was the other one. Was it 19-11 or 22-11?
21, actually.
21-11, right. That's, we expected a bigger score.
21-11.
But again, this is knockout rugby, so the win is the win. But I think Nondescripts wanted to scrap this back because of not making it to the playoffs for having a fantastic season.
I mean, it's been too bad.
It would have been a consolation to have them onto the Enterprise Cup. But unfortunately, that's how the game goes. And Cabras, of course, not wanting to let go of anything chance.
One thing I'm interested to know, and maybe my fans can let me know, is if Cabras put out their quote-unquote full squad, or they chose to give some of their regular starters a breather during this Enterprise Cup. I mean, for Nondis, you have nothing you're saving yourself for. So them, I think they went all out. I mean, on the day, unfortunately, they lost by 10 points.
Yeah.
But I think overall for Nondis, they have positives to pick from this season. They just need to find a way to get over that hurdle. And when you have the chance to pile up bonus points, pile them for next season.
Yeah, there's a lesson they learned from this one. You know, and remember, in the lead up to this playoffs, was spoken about the precarious position they lied, because they seem to have been winning games. Yeah. And that's just got them to the third place. But a flip on the other team's performances was going to disadvantage them, and that's unfortunately that's what happened. Yeah. And so when you have the chance to do enough to get you to that position where you're safe, you must do it.
Now, of course, the semis are way the next month.
Yes, I think on the May 11th, I think, or the 8th. I'm
but
not sure.
We'll have KCB versus Impala and Cabra's Harlequins.
No, is that so? Oh yes. Oh, the Enterprise Cup semis.
Yes. Yeah, Enterprise Cup semis.
Yes. Yeah, that's an interesting one.
I think this is a game obviously Coach Curtis loves, because he has a bit of a history with Impala. Yeah, I think it's also a repeat of last Kenya Cup, the semi-finals, I think, which was played under rainy conditions. It might be different this year because of obviously what you're experiencing. But I think Impala will face a much tougher test than Mwamba, because unlike Mwamba, KCB are very, very organized in the forwards. And what perhaps Impala might have an upper advantage is their backs, because if they play the same way they played against Mwamba, they could have a chance. Yeah. But you see, your backs can only run their moves if your forwards give you good go forward ball. And if KCB can put Impala under pressure on the forwards, then the backs might be starved of the ball. If I look at the game they played in the Kenya Cup earlier this season, the Impala were in the game up until they made some bad calls, not going for penalty when they needed to. And the game turned in the second half, because in the first half, I think it was still 3-3 or something close like that.
And they only just lost, didn't they?
Yes, and they only just lost. So Impala versus KCB is always a tough battle. But I mean, on the day...
So you're saying they're not getting 71 points against...
No. Against Curtis, against KCB? No. Curtis would rather change and enter that pitch. By himself, and take on Impala by himself.
and pull his players, yes.
Yeah, but definitely not a 71 against KCB.
Cabra's Harlequin.
That's a tough game. I think it's after the semi-finals of the Kenya Cup, I think. Is it? Yes. It's after the semi-finals of the Kenya Cup. That's bruising. Yeah. So, of course, I thought my guys to still be able to be on their feet and go out to the forest and give a good account of themselves. Like I said last week, Cabra's a very good side that has used mostly its top 17 to 19 players and haven't had a very strong bench. So. At that point, they would have been a little bruised in terms of depth. I think that's where, as Harlequins, we have a stronger
upper hand.
An upper hand. Yeah. A stronger hand, not only not an upper hand, but a stronger hand. Because we've got younger players who have been exposed through the season and are able to carry us through that point. So it would be interesting to see. But this is one of those games. I taught my players to come out and play very well, especially at the Forest, because it's one of those away games that people rarely win.
At least you'll have rain there.
Maybe not. Our rain is stuck in Tanzania.
Allegedly.
The bus that was meant to bring the first group did, and the other one.
We need to send a petition.
The other one was still waiting for the 737 to do their business.
Hey, we have problems. We have problems. So guys, we're going to wind up now. Thank you so much for watching. I wish the guys told me to come in blue, because maybe we would have made plans for this.
No, but we are going to make plans, Mr.
See, there's a problem.
Yeah. Where's the problem?
I'm not in blue.
I mean, you have to. I mean, there has to be a difference. You know, we can't all be blue. We look like which school wears blue, and
there's so many schools wear blue blazers.
Yeah, so I mean, there has to be some difference in studio.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, guys, for joining us and watching. See you next week.